The Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 5. I'm Nick, your host, and of course, with me, as always, my co-host, Joel. We're going to talk mainly about the draft today. Starts tomorrow night on Smackdown and ends next Monday night on Raw. But before we get to that, we're basically going to talk about NXT Takeover 31 that happened this past Sunday. Just talk about our thoughts like we did last week with Clash of Champions. So, starting off with you, Joel, what did you think of NXT Takeover 31? What were your thoughts about it, general thoughts?
General thoughts, I thought it was a good show. I thought they delivered, as always, because, you know, NXT always doing their thing. Surprising at a lot of the decisions that were made that night. You feel the same way?
Yeah, me too. I felt a lot of things that were surprising to me. I was like, wait.
No, yeah, but it was an interesting show. I liked it.
Yeah, it was cool. It gave me that takeover feeling to it, not because of the new arena not new arena, but like different feel to it because of the arena.
How you feel about that?
I like it.
You like it?
A little. Well, the only thing I have a problem with it is that I don't know about you, but it gives me the Raw Underground feeling to it. I don't know if you feel the same way or felt the same way.
Yeah, me
but
too.
I guess as soon as I saw it, I was like, dude, it's like Raw Underground. I thought everyone was gonna compete, like, you know, grappling, stuff like that. But you know, it's still cool though. It's different. I like the setup and everything. It was dope. The cages were cool. I never really knew about the Capitol Wrestling Center. I never knew about that.
I'll be straight up. Me either.
I was like, when I heard of it, I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I had to look into it.
So I was like, I don't know if they had cages back then with it too. So maybe that was why they had it. But the cages gave it a different feel, but kind of confusing why they brought that in.
It's kind of, I guess they want to give it like a gritty vibe, like something that's way different from the main roster.
Yeah.
So they have it like it's dark. You know what I mean? Like it gives you that underground vibe.
Yeah. That's what I thought about too.
It's just to set them apart.
Yeah, that is true because that's what it gave me. Like I think that's why it gave me the Raw Underground feeling because it was kind of dark to it.
Yeah.
I don't know all takeovers were kind of dark if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't that many lights. It wasn't that colorful or anything. It was like
true. That is true.
So maybe they were giving it that type of dark feeling to begin with. Because
NXT just has that dark vibe.
Yeah.
Like, their colors are black and yellow.
They use mainly black for everything. Every takeover has a black logo.
It's either black and yellow, black and white.
Yeah.
So
it has black in it.
That's just their look. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite match was? Your match of the night? What would you say that match was?
Obviously the main event.
Yeah.
Was awesome.
How do you feel about the injuries? The injuries that they got.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming. The way they were fighting, that gave me that.
They were going at it. Yeah, they were going at it. I was like, wow. And then
there was a lot of stiff shots in that match.
A lot of shock factors happened tonight. That night, because we had Ember Moon returning. How do you feel about that? By the way, I don't want to jump into different topics at once, but how do you feel about that?
I don't know how I feel about it.
Me too. I feel it.
I guess bringing her back, she was one of the most dominant champions they had, other than Asuka.
And
so I guess Bayley, yeah, but she really dominated. Like she was, I think Shayna took it off her.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's cool to bring her back. They're not really doing nothing with her in the main roster. She coming back from an injury, right?
Yeah, I think she was out for like a year. I think, or a little bit over a year. Oh. It was that long.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, give me a weird vibe when I saw her.
Me too. It was cool. Like it was cool though. I like to see her back. Great, specifically at NXT. She feel like she's the best there. Stacked division now, by the way. Tony Storm also returned to NXT.
That was dope. You know who I actually thought was gonna come out other than Ember Moon? I actually thought, Tessa Blanchard from TNA.
Yeah.
That she got released. I thought
You thought it was
I
that mystery
thought
person,
I
or
thought
just
so. Yeah,
I can see how that could fit. She has that mean character to her. I can see
yeah.
how that makes
I
sense.
I think that it would have made sense. It's still like Ember Moon. You got a factor at the same time, so that would have gave you the same shock factor, but just of somebody jumping over.
Oh, like interfering, like right after attacking from behind or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
like, but that's why like when they showed it, I was like, that can't be her. And then when they showed
yeah,
it was Ember Moon, I was like, okay, that makes sense because she's just that kind of character that wouldn't make it known she would do like that attack. She would do. She reminds me a lot of Adam Cole. She would do like Adam Cole did. He attacks from behind when he
yeah.
debuted.
Like, I had a feeling it was her too, but like you said, I didn't feel like that character, that
Yeah,
motorcycle character, fit her well. So I'm like,
yeah. I don't know how it
doesn't make
fits
sense.
Ember either, but we'll see what happens.
Exactly, we had to wait to see because that's what I never judge too early. I always have to wait a little bit. But like
Exactly.
stacked, like I said, stacked women's division now. You got Tony Storm and Ember Moon coming back. You
Yup.
got there's at least 10 women in the division that can go for the title. At least 10, and that's amazing.
I'm
That's
trying to
dope.
think if they've ever had a stacked women's division like this. That like they've had it stacked before, but like with talent. There was never like this. Like when they were like in their prime, and it was like Bailey, Sasha,
Yeah,
Becky, and also Alexa Bliss was there. But like not all of them were
great at that time. Yeah, yeah,
championship material at the time. Right now, all the women, you can just throw any of them in a championship uh like storyline and it makes sense.
yeah.
Like it's not far fetched.
The only problem I have is with that now is that now you have Tony Storm in there, but the thing is with NXT UK, their women's division, no offense, is kind of not good now. You have their champion Kaylee Ray, and that's it. You literally have no women's division in that brand. They're still in the process of building up female
Yeah.
superstars, and it's like doesn't make like you gotta kind of gotta stop with the bringing NXT UK superstars over to NXT. I get
Uh,
it; it's a
I
different
think that's
scenario, but they're
yeah,
racing superstars. They're bringing in over superstars.
yeah. I think that's the point though of NXT UK. The way I'm looking at it now that I see she jumped over, and now that you look at the past and see what the UK has brought over to the regular like NXT. So it's looking like NXT UK is just stepping stone to get to NXT.
Okay,
Nobody's ever gonna make the jump from NXT UK to the main roster unless you're Walter.
yeah, that's
Nobody
true.
has that
Or
big
Pete Dunne.
name yet. Exactly.
They should use that as a um instead of going like I get it like I said it's a great way to transition from NXT UK to NXT. It's a different scenario, but they should also do the same thing vice versa where they have NXT superstars going to NXT UK because
Yes.
they have a lot of people from Europe or that region in NXT. Dakota Kai. I think she debuted in NXT UK once, but they should use her in NXT UK. They need a women's division. She could be the face of that brand. And other
Yeah.
superstars on the main roster too. You have someone like probably Billy Kay, who's from Australia. Probably not going to use her because of Peyton Royce. But if anything, bring her over and have her be a face of the brand, stack division and that brand too.
Exactly. I felt like they should have done this way before. Like they should have started this like maybe a year and a half ago. Because what did UK start? Like 2 years or 2.5 years ago?
I think 2018, October 2018. So maybe 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know why McIntyre never made his way over there before he became champion. We
Yeah.
should have had at least McIntyre versus Walter just match, even if it was just like Walter coming out at a takeover and saying, "Yo, I'm holding an open challenge," and McIntyre just comes out. Don't have the match. Don't could have done it perfectly. Don't let any of them take a pin.
Yeah.
You have Imperium interfere. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people that are on the main roster that you could have had in NXT UK to build it up. Because right now they don't know what to do with the UK because it's the UK. They don't know how to get people interested in it. And
Yeah.
also, I feel like they don't hype it up the same way they hype up NXT.
Yeah. They don't.
Because even when NXT was on just the network, they would hype it up. They were
Yeah.
always talking about NXT. You never really hear about NXT UK.
That is true.
The only time,
Even when they returned, they still didn't hype it up that much.
yeah, like
Like
They gotta,
I forgot that it's on today. I literally forgot that it was
yeah.
on today. I was like, wait,
And what also messes it up is they put it on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
because that's 8 o'clock at their time as well. Their time is
Cool,
8 p.m.
cool. You should put it here. There's a way that I'm not no techie guy, but I'm
Yeah,
sure you can fix the programming that only in the UK it shows at 3 o'clock in the like at their time at 8 p.m.
yeah,
and then also show at our time 8 p.m.
yeah.
But I guess they don't want like stuff like getting um what's it called, like,
Leaked or
yeah,
spoiled. Yeah,
spoiled. But also it's like you're not hyping it up enough to you're not hyping it up enough for me to be spoiled by, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna find out and be like, oh, okay.
I
I'm gonna
think
still watch it.
I think the talent part is kind of the reason why. Like you have a Walter, you have Pete Dunne, you have the Mustache Mountain, all these great talent who have appeared in NXT at one point, but they don't have enough talent where it's like, oh, I'm gonna watch it, you know. Like they don't. They're still on the rise of hyping up a lot of superstars. Where it's like, even if they try to hype it up, you're still not hyped up. You know what I mean?
But that's why
Like,
they gotta intervene them with NXT and not just keep them separate and only call them up when they're already a star.
yeah.
You gotta bring them over to help them out. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
help them build their name so
AD's,
that when they go back to NXT UK,
they're already a big name.
exactly,
Okay,
and
yeah,
it
yeah,
helps them build them up. Like, I'll tell you straight up, I'm not the biggest UK guy. Why? Because it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
yeah,
and they haven't given me a reason to care for it. Like,
yeah,
I've watched the takeovers, awesome, of course. Like, you can't go wrong with a takeover, but like they haven't really given me a reason to like, yo, sit down on a Thursday afternoon and watch it at 3 p.m. or
exactly.
go back and watch the replay, because
Yeah,
it feels like the NXT UK is in its own world. You know what I mean? Like, NXT is still in the world of WWE and the main roster, because even now that, like, it's October, right?
yeah,
Survivor Series is coming up. Most likely NXT is going to be in Survivor Series some type of way.
yeah. That's what I kind of. Yeah, I like the fact that NXT is in Survivor Series, but I kind of want it to be like a different turn where they have NXT versus NXT UK, kind of like
I
Worlds
was I
Collide.
was I was just gonna bring that up. Why not have the takeover before Survivor Series be NXT versus NXT
That's
UK?
why I was thinking War Games could still happen with both NXT versus NXT UK. You have NXT versus NXT UK champion, NXT Women's versus NXT UK Women's, NXT Tag Team, NXT UK Tag Team. Then maybe the North American Championship versus someone from
We
over there or open
we should be
challengers.
we should be getting War Games.
Exactly.
We should be getting Imperium versus Undisputed Era. We should be getting, you know what I mean? Like, we should be getting those big matches.
Exactly.
But I feel like they're just keeping them off to the side. Because
Yeah.
even on the main roster, they talk about, oh, watch NXT. Oh, this past week on NXT, I've never heard a word come out about, hey, did you watch NXT UK this past Thursday? Never heard it before.
Yeah.
So I feel
May
like they're keeping them in there. Like, NXT UK is just to the side in its own world.
especially
It's not part of the WWE
exactly.
world.
Especially like they were out for a couple of months. So
Yeah.
maybe right now they're still in the process of getting it hyped up again. Because I know one feud that's going on, Walter versus Dragunov. That's going to be an awesome match, no matter what happens when it happens. I want to see that. That's the only thing I'm hyped about for NXT UK. Anything else, I'm like, whatever. I'll probably find out something later on. But
Yeah, I
that's the only
feel
thing I'm
you.
hyped up for. They got to start hyping up takeovers, even though it's in the UK. They may not have a lot of options. Do a takeover. Do something to get people hyped up for NXT UK. Do it sometime other than when NXT is having a takeover. Do something apart, like you said, apart from NXT UK that makes them different, other than being in the UK. You gotta
Yeah.
build up their own build on stars. I know you mentioned once that NXT was better off being an hour, and you in the network, you have different
Yeah.
people being seen every week. But I feel like they should go to 2 hours too. the more time they have, the more stars they can build up. The quicker they are, the quicker it goes. And you have more people hyped up. You know, a lot more people there, and it's like it's better for them.
But you know what's tough? Yeah, it would be better for them to be 2 hours so that they get more screen time and people get to know them better. But also, if you can't get people to sit down for an hour, how are you going to get them to sit down for 2 hours?
That is true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People only sit down for 2 hours for NXT because of how they built it up. And I thought they were gonna, when I was there when they announced WWE was doing the UK thing. I think they announced it. Was it the night after? I want to say Mania 33. I want to say 33. Like they brought was it 33? Yeah, 33. They brought them out on stage during a commercial break, and they were like, they showed Mustache Mountain Pete Dunne, and they were like, oh, they are gonna be the front runners of the new brand NXT UK, and it was like, oh, this is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
But then it was like, okay, they might make the move of how they're hyping up NXT to do the same thing with NXT UK, and they really didn't. They didn't use the same formula. They just threw NXT UK on the network and was like, hey, Thursday at 3 p.m. If you can catch it, catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was weird.
Yeah.
But there's guys on that roster that are nice.
Definitely.
Jordan Devlin. What is he still doing in NXT UK?
Isn't he still Cruiserweight champion technically? Santos Escobar, they refer to him as interim Cruiserweight champion. So does that make him Jordan Devlin still? Because it doesn't interim mean
he should be. Because he's never lost it, right?
Yeah.
Or am I bugging?
No, he never lost it. They just because once the pandemic hit, they just had a tournament to the crown the interim. Interim means replaced. Yeah. Not replaced, but not
temporary.
Vacant. Yeah, temporary.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
they use it a lot. They use it a lot in UFC and boxing.
Yeah, so
I gets injured.
Exactly, but in their case, they couldn't compete. Not because they chose not to. They couldn't because in the UK, their lockdown was strict. So
are they still on lockdown?
Not. I don't know. No, because I'm assuming not because they started NXT UK. So I don't think it's as strict as it was before.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that
you don't know if they're able to travel.
Yeah. So I think
I was gonna say, when is this match happening? Because this is your match right here for the Cruiserweight title.
They should do that. They should have Jordan Devlin. If he's allowed to travel back to the States, then they should bring him back to NXT. Have him match against Santos Escobar.
Yeah, and why aren't they mentioning him on NXT?
That's what I'm.
Because right now when you just said that, I totally forgot he was the champion.
Exactly. I think a lot of people forgot that. People forget that he was interim and he's still Cruiserweight champion. They should have had him come back during Takeover, attack Escobar, have Escobar be a babyface, or have at least Swerve Scott win the match, which should have happened, and then have Swerve Scott versus Jordan Devlin, have Jordan Devlin lose. That way, he's not Cruiserweight champion. It's just, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Because at this point, why still have him as a Cruiserweight champion if he hasn't been used for a while? Who knows when he's coming back? It could be next year. It could be next October. Who knows?
But I guess it's still. Why is this But I guess why they're keeping him there, they're not having him give up the belt or lose it because they want to have a storyline down the road.
Yeah.
And I guess that'll lead up to Worlds Collide, or whenever they do that, or the next Takeover, or whenever they're able to travel. They want to have a title versus title match, which I think could be dope down the line.
Those storylines are always the best storylines.
I think you do how you just did the IC title ladder match with the 2 belts. You do the same thing with the Cruiserweight title.
Exactly. And then you have either Santos Escobar, whoever's not champion by then, join in triple threat ladder match, especially in NXT Takeover. That's always going to deliver. Always going to be an awesome match.
Exactly. Yeah, they gotta hype up the UK more, man.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I didn't even remember this guy was champion. You just said it.
Rich Holland, he was in NXT UK. I don't know why they brought. It's great. It's cool to have him on NXT. Using him there, but hopefully they bring him back to NXT UK because right now I feel like he has a lot of hype. You know, they had Finn Balor at one point trying to feud with Walter. That would have been cool. The pandemic ruined it. But Rich Holland definitely should be going back to NXT UK at one point with all his hype.
That would have helped it out. I think that was their way of trying to help out the NXT UK by bringing Finn over there, and I think he would have won.
Yeah, same.
I think he would have held that champion. I think that would have brought it more into the mainstream of, oh, shit, like Finn is champion on NXT UK. I got to watch it now. It was like the same way that NXT was doing all those just appearances.
I think earlier this year they had Tony Storm going for the NXT championship when Rhea Ripley was champion last. I think Worlds Collide. Yes. So that's something like that. Even if they're on NXT UK, have someone come through the NXT, face a champion there. They don't have to win, but still hypes up the superstar in the match.
But you know what I'm scared of right now? Now that we were talking about the Cruiserweight title, that they now call the title the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah. You peeped that, right?
Yeah.
I think you brought it up last episode or the episode before that. But that makes me worry because now what if they're just like, yeah, that's the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Devlin is the NXT UK Cruiserweight Champion.
But it's still an NXT brand, so technically they still could use it. They're still NXT property.
Yeah.
So I like how they did that, how they used NXT UK superstars to go for that belt. Because there's a lot of cruiserweights over there.
But I still think a way, like, this is far-fetched. They would have to have some to do a move like this. I would have somebody come. I would even have, let's say their biggest star. Let's say their biggest star right now is Pete Dunne, right? Everyone knows Pete Dunne. I would have him come to NXT, the regular NXT, win the title, and after the match, just be like, I'm done with NXT. I'm taking this belt back to the UK. And you have that belt on you have that belt on NXT UK
only
for weeks. So now you gotta go and watch NXT UK to see what's the deal with the NXT champion. What's going on over there? Why?
So, speaking of that, I kind of want to ask you about the draft now. In terms of that, do you think you kind of reminded me of something that I was thinking about before? Do you think that I really wanted to see this happen, Pete Dunne? Do you think he could end up going to the main roster, getting drafted, or specifically?
I don't want him to. I don't want him to. I could definitely see it. Don't want it to happen. I feel like he's one of those guys that has so much potential, and also he has hype around him that they only see the hype. They don't see the potential. So they'll just throw him in the first storyline they see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was like the whole thing with Keith Lee that didn't he get a title shot, or he was gonna get a title shot?
He was going to.
Good thing they put the brakes on that, because if he would have got a title shot and just lost right away, that kind of like messes up his character. You know what I mean? Like that.
I used to like the points back when NXT used to call up NXT superstars, was that kind of similar to what you were saying. Like they didn't put all these guys in title pictures. They put them against big names and big storylines, but not title matches.
Yeah.
Like I remember Seth Rollins immediately with the Shield. That was a big storyline. Even though he never got a singles run for the championship right away, it was still a great feud putting with the Shield, CM Punk and Ryback. Then Big E, for partnering up with Dolph Ziggler, feuding with John Cena. Like, that's John Cena right there, the big name in WWE at the time. That's dope. I don't think they ever faced one-on-one. I'm not sure what happened with that. I forgot. But these two, without even knowing, they would just randomly debut superstars, without even promoting it, and then right then and there, big feud. Imagine if Keith Lee came out the night after Payback or the night after SummerSlam and immediately feud with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. That would have been cooler, because you wouldn't expect Keith Lee to come out randomly after he lost the title, then feuding with Randy Orton, the top guy on Raw. That would have been cool. And I feel like, especially with the draft, obviously we're gonna know if superstars getting called up from NXT. They're probably gonna announce some NXT Speaking of that, which NXT superstars would you want? Like they would fit, and who you want to get called up to the main roster?
I don't want nobody to get
Nobody?
called up because I know that they're just gonna fuck them up. But
or who are you gonna say?
if I had to pick somebody, that's a tough question. Now that I'm thinking about it, who
would Raw or SmackDown need? That's the question. Who would they need? Like, oh, this person would probably fit in a storyline with this person, or tag team with this person.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I'm trying to think. Because there's so many people on NXT that like should be getting called up, but I don't want them to because of the way that I know they'll just treat them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like of course Rhea should be getting called up.
Yeah.
Rhea
I feel like they wouldn't mess her up because she lost at WrestleMania, which shouldn't have happened. But I feel like they'll still bring her up and be like, okay, we're sorry about WrestleMania, but here's a great feud to start off her career. Maybe a title match. Maybe she beats someone big, feeds someone big, and then maybe gets a title shot along the line, then wins it. So that way it can be like, maybe. Okay, like I said, sorry about WrestleMania, but here goes the title shot in a big feud.
Yeah, I would bring up some women.
Yeah, and they need tag teams. The first thing I think of when it comes to bringing up superstars is tag teams.
Who's a tag team you'll bring up?
I was gonna say Breezango, but they're tag team champions down there. I wouldn't necessarily have them being called up. I would probably bring up. This is not a great. I don't like this tag team. Like I don't think it's gonna get called up. Maybe Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. They could probably fit in some way here. Maybe someone from the UK, if they're allowed to come to the States. Maybe they can bring up Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Great tag team. They had a lot of hype. They're a lot of hype. If they bring them to Raw or SmackDown, that would be awesome. Great fit right there and stuff like that.
You know who I think they should call up?
Who?
And this goes back to hyping up the NXT UK. I would call up Imperium, but just oh my god, their names are slipping out my mind right now.
The tag team, the one Fabian Eichner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would call them up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I know their name off the top of my head. Like I forgot their names right now. But I would call them up, just tag team, have them be a tag team. I would put them on SmackDown, but also still do the UK shows.
Just appear. Don't even have them wrestle. Just appear, right? Like kind of behind Walter.
I would put them to wrestle too. Why not?
Yeah.
If they have to. I wouldn't put them every week wrestling. Like you know, what I mean? I wouldn't put them in a match every week, but maybe like once a month on the UK.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then down the line, maybe they win the tag belts. But guess what? They're still showing up on NXT UK with Walter.
And with the SmackDown tag belts.
Exactly.
You know who?
Maybe one week they defended up there.
Oh, and then that's how you get another tag team.
And maybe they lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have them hold it for a while, and then they defend it both on SmackDown
and that's how you call up another tag team.
And then 1 week they lose. And guess what? That makes it must-see TV now because they're going to be like, yo, the SmackDown champions just lost their belt.
On NXT UK.
Exactly. And then that brings the guys over to, even if they're not called up at the time, they're the champions.
And they're appearing on SmackDown.
And they're appearing. So, like, maybe they get 2 defenses successful, and then they lose it the third pay-per-view they defended at. And then they go back to the UK.
And then people
guess
are like,
what? They might impress you, and now you're going to go check out NXT UK to go see what they're about. So, I would do maybe them. I think Candice LeRae I think it's time for her to move up.
Yeah. I was
Gargano,
maybe?
I think.
No.
Oh my God, it's time, buddy.
Yeah.
It's time. Like
I know he doesn't want to, but like you gotta change up your thing, man.
But I feel him though, because he's not gonna get nothing on the main roster. And that's the only reason I don't want to see him. Candice LeRae, she's fine. She's gonna get her chance at the title because the difference between the men and the women are Vince doesn't care about size.
Yeah.
As you see, Nia Jax has beat people down, but also people have beat Nia Jax down. You know what I mean? Shayna has gotten beat. There's no worry about size or muscle in the women's division.
Alexa Bliss has won multiple championships.
Exactly. Now, for the men, you're bringing Gargano into a world where Roman Reigns is champion and Drew McIntyre is champion. Two guys are like 6'4", got mad muscle, and you're bringing in Johnny Gargano, who did the Cruiserweight Classic, went into NXT, won the belt there, but also NXT doesn't discriminate against size because, as we've seen, big guys have won it. You know what I mean? Big guys have won it, small guys have won it. But when you get to that main roster, you're putting him into that world, he's going to be most likely going into feuds with Sami Zayn for the IC title. I don't think they'll ever have that. They'll give him that push for the world title, which is foul because he's a great talent.
Yeah.
I think he would be dope. But
maybe he could do something where it's like an elimination chamber or some way where he doesn't go face-to-face one-on-one with Roman Reigns. He wins it maybe pinning somebody else. They can do that.
But still, I don't think Vince has that look for small guys. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna be like, yeah, let's give him the belt. That was like the whole thing with back in the day when Rey Mysterio won the belt. It was like, it was shocking because the small guy won it, but then also in the back of your head, you also knew
he's not gonna hold it.
He won it because Eddie Guerrero passed, and it was like, let's do something nice for this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't have been that way. It should not have been a pity championship, but that's how it looked.
Yeah.
But then he went on to defend, and he had one of the worst title reigns of all time.
And then he won the WWE Championship like 10 years ago, and then he lost it the same day or the week later.
The same night, I think, right?
Yeah.
That was the CM Punk, when CM Punk
left
and they did the tournament. Yeah, I think he lost it the same night.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Wow, yeah. But yeah, I don't think Vince has that look for small guys.
But maybe it's different now. I mean, like, because we've seen, you know, who is champion before? You know, we have who did Drew McIntyre beat again? Oh, Brock Lesnar.
Brock.
Oh yeah. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Roman beat Bray.
Braun Strowman and Bray.
Oh yeah.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
But then you had Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar last year multiple times. Then you had Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, but that's just because they got Seth in their mouth. That's why. But Kofi, Bryan was a champion, but that was a time where champions were small. Like, if you look at the Smackdown roster, all the champions that were winning were small.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan was champion.
They got to mix it up a little.
Bryan was feuding with The Miz for the belt. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was a good time, man. They gotta, you know, I think they're doing back and forth. Some years they do small guys only. Some years they do big guys only. Back and forth, depending on what they're feeling.
Or just make the guy believable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, some guys you can believe, oh, yeah, they got this. They can beat him.
Yeah.
Like, did you see how they made you believe Seth Rollins size could beat a guy Brock Lesnar size?
Yeah, easily.
You could do the same thing with Johnny Gargano. You could do the same thing with Tommaso Ciampa. You could do the same thing with Tyler Breeze. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter the size. It's just how you build it up and how you make it believable.
Yeah.
Now, if you're putting... I'm trying to think of a guy that... Like Andrade, they made you believe, yo, he can be a champion. But then when he got to the main roster, and making you believe, I don't know if this is true.
It could be. It still could be true. It still could be.
I think so.
It could easily turn around and be like, oh, you could have him face someone like you could have him beat Drew McIntyre for the championship if you could.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Easily.
Wait, didn't he? Who beat McIntyre?
Robert. No. Andrade was Bobby Roode beat Andrade, and then Drew McIntyre beat Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
I think it was Aleister Black that beat Drew McIntyre. But at that time, he wasn't like as Drew McIntyre is now. As now, I think he got a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit better in the ring
Yeah.
than he was back then. So,
Yeah.
and but at that time, it was kind of believable that anybody could beat him. But now it's just kind of different. I feel like still anybody could beat him, but again, Drew McIntyre is a different man.
That's like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, it's not like he's a big guy, you know, but he shouldn't be someone that is believable to beat anybody.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They
there was
make it seem like what's up?
Because there was a point where Vince McMahon never wanted Braun Strowman to be champion because it wouldn't be realistic for anybody to be Braun Strowman. And I feel like that's what they're doing now with they're just giving people a championship because they deserve it, not because they, are believable to lose it or win it. But
I feel the same way with the Braun thing. Because it's like we built this guy so big that now if he wins the title, who are we gonna have take off of it to have it take off of him? You know what I mean?
That's where you build up other superstars. It doesn't have to be big or small.
But that's why it helped when he won it that the Fiend was getting built up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it helped out. It helped out that you had another superstar that might not have been big in size, but had that dark side that he can beat him.
And speaking of the Fiend too. You haven't beat him with Kevin Owens, someone who is, no offense, not that big, but still kind of, you know what I mean? It's like it's still kind of big built, but not as big as a strong guy.
Kevin Owens, man.
Dude, I like this feud. I like this Fiend feud with him. It's different.
Oh, I love the feud. I love the feud. I just feel Kevin Owens.
Wherever Bray Wyatt's going to end up going, so is Kevin Owens. Just a little spoiler out there. Same brand. They're going to be on the same brand. Yeah. That's still cool.
Oh, can we go? Wait, can we answer our question?
You want to answer last
week? Yeah, let's answer.
Sure, yeah, let's get into that. Right.
Because I'll give you. Who would I draft first if I was on Raw or SmackDown?
You want to answer that first? Yeah, for people.
Yeah, if I was on any brand, I'm getting Bray Wyatt.
Ooh.
I'm taking.
Where would you put him? What brand?
Personally, I would keep him on SmackDown.
Okay.
Personally, I would keep him on SmackDown. He just has that SmackDown vibe. I don't like him on Raw. Raw makes more sense for him.
Okay.
But really doesn't because he brings that like Raw. Okay,
I think he was the reason why SmackDown did so well this past Fox.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And what do you want them to keep doing? Doing well, so you keep him on there.
Yeah.
But difference between Raw and SmackDown, I always looked at it as Raw is story driven. SmackDown is more wrestling driven. If you've seen more matches happen on SmackDown than happen on Raw.
That is true. That is facts.
Bray on SmackDown brings the element that they don't really have of storytelling. He brings that to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So now SmackDown is still the wrestling show, but also has that aspect of we can tell stories too. Now, if you move him to Raw, that just adds another vignette to show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just another promo you're going to have to show. And that's going to take up more time. And now we get less action in the ring. I say leave him on SmackDown. The way it's going is perfect. I like the storyline with Kevin Owens. I wish it was for some type of title.
Yeah.
Because both these guys deserve it. Kevin Owens, what a guy. I don't know how this man hasn't held the title more.
Yeah.
I really don't get it.
Just give him more championships.
Like he had is he one time, right? He's a one-time champion, right?
Yeah.
That was the time that Triple H helped him.
Yeah.
And then after that was like
they should have. I don't want to go too much.
Like he's had cool storylines.
Yeah.
Like the whole Jericho thing, and they did the Festival of Friendship.
Got me tight. And
then it led up to their match at Mania for the title for the United States title, which
what could have been for the Universal Championship. What could have been? They messed up big time.
That was a good storyline that would have been great for a Universal title.
Come on, why you got the stupid Brock? Thank God he's not in WWE anymore.
It was
You heard
the
about that,
whole
right?
what?
Brock's not with WWE anymore. You heard about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank God. Thank
I
God.
think
It
yeah, I think
gives people more time to shine instead of giving them championships.
yeah,
I had enough of that.
I think either they're keeping him more. I think he's either still under contract and they're just holding him.
So
like,
audiences come back?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Brock Lesnar with no crowd isn't Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Like if you saw when they were cutting promos leading up to Mania in front of the empty performance center, it didn't give the same effect as when you hear his music and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
it's lit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But they do have audience noises with the Thunderdome, though. They do have audience, but it's like.
But it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you were in the Thunderdome.
For a couple, yeah. Okay, let me explain.
That?
Let me explain. Okay, so this is what happened. So they open up, like for people to apply for the Thunderdome a couple days in advance. All you do is put your email in. Then the morning of, they send you an email saying, okay, we're going to call you, be ready at this time. Everyone's given a different time, like either 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I was given at 10. I had to be ready by 10 so I can go on camera and be on TV. And then the thing is, though, if the Thunderdome is, the weird thing that confuses me the most about it is that if there's no room, they tell you, sorry, we're full, you can't be on right now. So I'm like, when I got on at 10, which was the time I was supposed to be on, it said that. It said, sorry, the Thunderdome's full, come back next time. I'm like, but I was told to come on at 10.
Yeah.
And so then I waited a couple minutes, and then it said, oh, you can now enter. Someone left. Someone had left, so you can come in.
That's okay.
And then that's when I got on. A couple minutes later, I was on for like 25 minutes at least. And then for no reason, they said, "Oh, thank you." After 25 minutes, I didn't even leave. They cut me off. I was like, "Oh, thanks for coming through. See you next time." I'm like,
because you know what I think it is. I think they have half-hour slots.
Yeah. I think
so what happens is because my brother signed up for it and they gave him this. They told him the same thing, and he said, okay, I'm not even gonna try it no more."
Yeah.
Because they said, "Oh, it's full." He said, "Whatever," because he had it. I want to say for SummerSlam. He got it for SummerSlam.
Okay.
And then they told him, "Oh, it's full," and they gave him the pre-show, so it was like at 6:30. I mean, 6:30, and he was like, it's not working, whatever, and he just left. I didn't know that like if you wait around, it's like, oh yeah, somebody left. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's dope though.
They just tell you to be ready, so just in case if someone does leave or they have more time, they put you on.
Exactly.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that either, and then I was having to check again. It says you cannot enter. I'm like, oh, cool. Then I went in.
Yeah.
Then eventually they tell you like, oh, your time is up. Thank you for coming through, something like that. It was cool though, cause I would kind of recommend to do it again. I don't know, because the thing is, the quality when you're watching it on, I saw it on my laptop. The quality, not that good.
Like
I'd rather,
webcam.
Yeah, I'd rather watch it on TV and not be on, because it's better watching on there. You have a better screen on television on your laptop from the network specifically.
Yeah.
If you're watching on the network, it's better quality. It's like I'd rather do this and see little bits of it in slow quality, lags a little bit. It's kind of. I
feel you, yeah.
It's like I'd rather just watch it on the network. Maybe along the line, if it's a pay-per-view, maybe I'll try it again and do it again. But as of right now, I'd rather just watch it on like a laptop or television if I don't have the network on. But it's like that. So back to the question.
But yeah, I think like before we go into that, I think they're gonna wait. I think they're either waiting for Brock to bring him back, so that when a crowd is back, he'll give that effect of, oh, Brock is back, or he's just not signed it. He's jumping ship to UFC.
Yeah,
it's one of the two.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't think we've seen the last of Brock on TV though.
Yeah.
He'll be doing either one of those, either WWE or he's back with the UFC.
Yeah, I can see that coming back. I don't see him gone forever. I see him coming back.
So who you got? Who would you draft first?
Wait, who? So Bray Wyatt's your.
Bray Wyatt's my pick.
For Bray Wyatt. SmackDown? Who would you choose for Raw though?
No, if I'm
both.
If I'm in charge of any show, my first pick is The Fiend. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Wait, who did I have? I had two. So if I were SmackDown, who would I choose? But for Raw though, if I were Raw, what I would do is I would draft Sasha Banks straight out of the bat. Draft Sasha Banks. Draft the Raw. Have her lose this tomorrow to Bayley. Don't win the championship. Have her drafted to Raw. Keep Bayley on SmackDown. Therefore, I don't like the way they gave them the title match right away. That was like that's rushing into that.
It's somebody's moving to another show.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're telling you.
Yeah, so they should just keep them off for a while, not feuding with each other, have them feud with different people. Then eventually, when time comes, have maybe Sasha win the Royal Rumble. Have her face, if Bayley's still champion again, if she wins it again. If she wins like I said, win the SmackDown Women's Championship again, have them feud for the SmackDown title. Next year's WrestleMania, then you have Sasha Banks win it. Then move her back to SmackDown next year, and then maybe trade Bayley to Raw or draft Bayley to Raw next year's draft, because I feel like she'll do better on Raw eventually. So yeah, Sasha Banks. Let's just leave that feud alone for a while. Pick it back up next year's WrestleMania. So I would say Sasha Banks going to Raw, because I feel like Bayley fits well in SmackDown. She may not have good of the division, but I feel like she fits well.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily move Bayley. I would draft Sasha to Raw, my first pick. And why I said the first pick is because she can eventually be Raw's big thing with Charlotte and Becky out. I feel like she could bring Raw back to life.
Very true.
She could bring Raw back to life, build up their Raw division, have her face Asuka. That would be a dope match to see. If you bring over other superstars, call up women's wrestlers to Raw, easily, no matter if it's for a championship or not, easily brings out the superstar even more in her as well. So I would put her on Raw for SmackDown. The first pick I would go for SmackDown, Roman Reigns. Keep him on SmackDown. I would pick Roman Reigns, because there's no way you're going to have him build up and not be number one pick if I were SmackDown.
Yeah.
So it's like you already built him up. Easily go with him for number one. That kind of gives people their reminder of like, oh, we're going to pick up from where we left off with their feud with Jey Uso. So that way it's like, hey, look at Roman Reigns. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to hear something though? I personally think that they're gonna. I don't know for sure, but I feel the way it's looking, they might flip flop the champions.
Did you really?
Yeah, because Roman Reigns is such a hot thing right now.
That either brand would take him
on SmackDown, and that's probably like pissing so many people off backstage that Raw is supposed to be the top show. And he's like, right now, no offense to McIntyre, but Roman is the guy. You know what I mean? He's carrying the championship. He has that attitude to him. For them not to move him to Raw would be weird.
That would also bring the Usos over to Raw too, because then you have tag team over there.
Yeah.
Defeating the Street Profits, if anything.
I hope he stays on SmackDown. I hope, but you can never tell.
What tag team would be your first pick though if you had a tag team? If they give you like, what's your first tag team to bring over to SmackDown to Raw?
From SmackDown to Raw?
Or vice versa. What tag team would you bring over to Raw? What Raw tag team would you bring over to SmackDown?
I'm trying to think.
It could be women's tag teams or men's tag teams. Either one.
Women's tag teams. Wow, that's a tough question. Now I'm trying to like run through all the tag teams in my head. Street Profits, but they're champions right now.
Yeah.
But they need a new look. They need new competition. Then
who would you bring over to SmackDown? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I would say bring over the New Day from SmackDown over to Raw. Even though Kofi and Xavier Woods are out, you still bring them over. Then eventually when they come back, have them feud against the Street Profits. That's different. Then you have Big E going over there and then feuding with the top guys over there in the meantime until they come back.
To be honest, they might ruin the Street Profits.
Really?
They might ruin the Street Profits. Because right now everybody loves the Street Profits. For some reason, everybody loves the Street Profits. I never understood like understood why they got so much hype.
Yeah.
Like nothing against them. They're good in the ring and stuff. Just never understood the whole. I don't know. They're just their characters to me just remind me. It's like a stereotype basically. Their characters. If you've noticed it, like if you look at it, they're just basically stereotypes, but like amplified. And they kind of remind me of Private Party.
I mean, that is true. Which tag team started out first, though?
I know of Private Party before I've known of Street Profits, but I don't know for sure. Not saying that anybody's biting off each other, but they just have similar gimmicks.
Yeah.
But the Street Profits, I don't know, never understood the whole hype behind them. Not nothing against them. They're good in the ring and stuff. Like they're doing their thing, but like they need new competition, and like I think the New Day might mess them up. They might mess up their momentum they have, because even though everybody loves the Street Profits, everyone loves the New Day.
Yeah, maybe
you know what I mean?
Maybe you could trade over the Street Profits over to SmackDown, draft them over there, then eventually the New Day over to Raw, have them feud for the Raw belts, and have the New Day win it. So therefore, the Street Profits can go with the SmackDown tag belts instead.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to have them drop the belts. But right now, like, who would they drop? Who would you have them drop the belts to?
Probably to the New Day if they go over to Raw, because at that point, since Kofi and Xavier are out, they're gonna have to come back eventually, and they're gonna have to feud with them. I would also probably bring over who's from SmackDown. I'd probably bring over.
There's not a lot of tag teams going on right now.
That's the thing.
Like, you think about it.
That's
their champions are a made up tag team.
Yeah.
Sheamus and Nakamura. It's like
Cesaro and Nakamura.
It's Cesaro and Nakamura. What's that?
Just Sheamus. Close. You're
Cesaro. I'm thinking. I thought of the bar.
Yeah.
See, I got one half of the bar.
Yeah, exactly. You're close.
But right now their champions are just a thrown together tag team that worked out.
You can also do Heavy Machinery over to Raw, because they're also two hyped up people. You gave Otis some money in the contract, right? I was gonna say you gave him the contract, have him lose it, and then kind of like, oh, I'm sorry for giving you the title and losing it. Here are the Raw Tag Team Championships, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, with Rhea Ripley being like, oh, sorry for making you lose the title of Mania. Here's the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship. Same thing. Sorry for making you lose the Money in the Bank contract, but here's the Raw Tag Team Championships. Kind of like a replacement of that. Because they've been having, especially Otis, you've done a lot with him in 2020. Might as well give him a championship if you're not going to make him cash in the Money in the Bank.
Exactly. Yeah.
That could be something they could do and different, because we haven't seen them on Raw since, I think, never. I don't think you've ever seen them on Raw. I think before last year's draft, eventually. I think they had them on both.
To be honest.
Exactly. It's a different scenery for them. You have Mandy Rose over there. You continue that storyline, have them being together, especially with Mandy Rose. Do you like her and Dana Brooke together as a tag team?
I like that too. I like that. They fit well together.
They have the same gimmick too. They're literally the muscle in the group, the muscles.
Exactly. Yeah.
They fit well. A lot of people don't like it. I don't know why, but I like it.
That's one of the put together tag teams that might actually work out.
Exactly. They should really go for that.
Yeah. What's going on with the Viking?
I think both of them
Viking Raiders. Both of them are injured.
I think so, because I saw a picture on Instagram. I think Eric got surgery.
Oh, okay.
So I think they should go to SmackDown.
Yes, I was just gonna say that when they come back, they should move to SmackDown.
Yeah, have them get drafted
and make them legit again. Make them actually
dominant.
Don't have them doing all this stupid shit that you had them doing for Mania, and they basically took on what the Revival were doing. And wow, if the Revival were gonna do that, I see why they left.
Yeah,
I understand it.
And they fit well together. I like the momentum they had. I get it. They were funny. Make them dominant. Yeah. When they come back, heel turn.
They made them a dominant, heel. Yeah.
Because then people are going to expect them to be funny again and be like, oh, the lovable guys that people love. When they come back, they pretend to be lovable. Boom. Turn on the tag team champs. Let me win the tag team championships.
Exactly. Question.
Yeah.
Would you move any of the Hurt Business?
No. I was going to mention that too. Bring them all four. Keeping them together. All four of them. should stay on Raw. Should not leave Raw. They're one of the things that keeping me watching Raw right now. And they want to keep people watching Raw, keep them on Raw. I was going to mention, too, keep them feeding with Retribution. Especially keep them on Raw, too. They were a Raw product. How do you like Mustafa Ali being the leader, by the way?
I mess with that.
Me too.
I mess with that. It brings it back to the days that we were thinking about who was the hacker behind the computer.
Yeah. Everyone's saying they should.
If this is still going on with this gimmick, it was smart to do it down the road rather than just bringing him with them the first day and saying, "Oh, I'm with them."
Yeah,
I like it. But back to the Hurt Business, I feel maybe you should move 2 of them.
Who?
I would move. Let me think. Now that's what it is. Who should he move? I would move Shelton.
And Cedric, maybe?
Huh?
And have them, maybe Shelton and Cedric, have them be the tag team over on SmackDown.
Maybe.
Wow.
Or even go on their single runs, but still be under the Hurt Business. Now you have MVP on both shows.
Okay.
They could also show up on both shows. They're not wrestling on Raw, but they could show up on Raw with the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
And Lashley could show up on SmackDown but not fight. You know what I mean? Like, you could do stuff that goes through loopholes that you have both shows getting the top faction.
Yeah.
That you're doing right now.
Or you can do the same thing with Retribution. Have maybe Mustafa Ali and the 3 guys on Raw and the two women on SmackDown. So you can have both of them appearing, attacking people on the women's division. But
what I was hearing is that Retribution is a product of USA. And that's why they stopped showing up on SmackDown.
Okay. Then they get... Yeah, makes no sense.
That's also why the 24/7 championship doesn't show up on SmackDown. It's only on Raw because it's a USA product. Because USA came up with the idea for it. Same thing with Retribution.
Okay. And
which makes no sense.
Because if it was I was thinking, I didn't know about that because if
that's what I read. I don't know if that's 100%, but they said that's why they stopped showing up on SmackDown because USA was like, yo, that's a USA product. Or USA was like, yo, he has more money, keep them on Raw.
That makes sense.
One of the two. Yeah, one of the two.
Then
that's why they stopped showing up.
I wanted all 4 of them to Hurt Business on Raw so they could feud with Retribution. I really want to see the 4 the Hurt Business. I said horsemen. The 4 Hurt Business members versus the 4 Retribution members. I really want to see that match at Hell in a Cell. 4-on-4 Hell in a Cell match. Keep everyone out. Dope. Keep everyone in. Therefore, it could be a really great match 4-on-4. Have the Retribution win, be on top. Many people may not like that, but it brings them more value than Hurt Business. Because Hurt Business is already a great thing. You don't need to do anything else.
I think they're the top faction right
now. If you have Retribution beat them, that's Retribution being the best faction right now. And especially bringing up Mustafa Ali with his stock. Having him go for
Mustafa Ali.
Dude,
that was so random.
If you were to see my face when that happened, dude, I was like, I think my jaw dropped to the floor. Because I was like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, who else would have thought?
I don't think anybody was expecting that. It was so random that I was like, what? Out of all people, this is the guy behind it?
Yeah. But and it fits well. It's perfect, too. It makes perfect sense. If they continue the hacker thing. Like, I was the hacker. Because I saw something on Twitter with Retribution where I was like, each member had not problems, but were underlooked in the past year. You had Mustafa Ali out of the Elimination Chamber match last year for the WWE Championship. You had Mustafa Ali also lose the Money in the Bank match because Brock Lesnar interrupted him. You had Mustafa Ali lose the Cruiserweight Championship in 2018 at WrestleMania. Then you had Dominic Dijakovic losing constantly and having Keith Lee be overlooked over him. You had who else is it? What's his name? The guy who Brock Lesnar beat up, the commentator. What's his name?
Oh,
yeah, him.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, but they gave you them new names. I don't remember the names now. I'm confused. But that guy.
Yeah, those names. Wow.
I was like, whoever came up with those names should be fired, in my opinion. Those are not good names.
I gotta look up these names. Hold on, because
I think
wow.
I remember Shane Thorne was Slapjack. That's the one I laughed at the most. Slapjack was one of them.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now because we need to go through this list of the names. Where's it at? Hold up. Really? Come on. Oh, they gotta make me watch a video to get the names? You wildin'. Oh, here we go. T-Bar.
T-Bar.
Mace.
That's a cool name. Mace. I like Mace.
Slapjack. The girls haven't gotten names yet?
I think they
have
did.
They?
I think Mia Yim was Reckoning.
Oh,
Reckoning.
yeah.
Nah, I forgot Mercedes Martinez's name, but I think one of them was Reckoning.
Yeah.
I mean, the only name I like was Mace. That's the one I liked, which was the commentator guy. They have him bring up that past, like, oh, I was taking out my Brock Lesnar doing my job.
Yeah.
That wasn't fair. Then I think they brought us. I saw on Twitter like Mia Yim.
It's a cool concept. Yeah. Mia Yim was looked over OD on NXT, but it's a cool concept what they're doing with them. And then you just gotta see how it works out. You know? Yeah.
Then you have if you have them meet the Hurt Business on Raw, then people will start watching Raw more. Like, oh, Hurt Business versus Retribution beating up everyone on Raw. Who are they gonna attack next week or something like that?
Very true.
Who's the next victim? Would it be that gives everyone the kind of thing every week to turn to Raw?
Yeah.
They have on Raw.
You sold me. Yeah, keep the Hurt Business on.
Because the thing is too, I think I mentioned this on the previous episode where before the members were announced to reveal themselves. I think the reason why they took so long to reveal the members of Retribution was the fact that it gives people the chance to tune in every week. Like, oh, are they going to reveal themselves this week? Is it going to be this week? Who knows?
Yeah.
And I feel that's the tactic to kind of bring in every week Retribution. Who are they going to attack this week? Who are they going to beat down? Are they going to show up this week? Who knows? Because there've been times that they didn't show up at all. And if they stay on Raw the draft, that would be perfect. That would make a lot of sense and have them on. Eventually, the Hurt Business, great feud already. They're
doing the thing, and then with Retribution, they're gonna help Retribution become legit.
Yeah, and they have another tag team, Retribution. Have two people team up there, win the tag belts, win every belt. And then there you go, a faction.
That faction could be scary, Retribution, if they build it up the right way.
Exactly. Like the names, I could easily get past.
I could look over.
Yeah, I can get past that. But their gimmicks and their characters are what they're really trying to get past, and not get past, but like really trying to get sold on.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for something to happen. Their looks look scary already, even though the T-Bar looks like Bane from Batman. I'm trying not to think of that too much because I don't want that to happen, you know. But they look scary. They look dope. I like the bit because I was not expecting them to like have different looks besides revealing them original selves.
Yeah. Well, they always you gotta always evolve as a character, and you gotta get that new gimmick. That was like when the Shield debuted. They had the little turtlenecks with just regular black pants. I was like, oh.
Didn't they have masks at one point? If I'm not mistaken.
At one point, they had the
face cover. Yeah. And then they had like skeletons.
I don't know how WWE never sold those. Because
those
were lit.
Especially selling them now.
Yeah, facts.
They'll make my money on that.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez, they should be using tag team divisions together. They have to be using tag team.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
And then that would be awesome. That's why I wanted them to be seen. That's why I mentioned them going to SmackDown. That gives SmackDown another tag team. That gives them another tag team to build off of. We're going to beat two women every week. Put them in tag team competition against two people. Make tag teams from there. It gives SmackDown chances to create their own tag teams on that brand.
Yeah.
And then there you go. And then have that's a way for SmackDown to have the tag team championships. When Bailey and that also gives them the reason to go to both brands because when they have the titles.
Exactly, yeah.
When it'd be a scene on that. Because the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships, you can't switch brands. Even though they could, technically, but they can't do that because that's not part of the rules.
Yeah,
that they have.
Rules.
They, at this point, didn't they have like like a
Dude.
invitational or something like that, where they had like 4 times a year. They've done it at least 10 times already. That rule's already broken. That rule's already broken.
Do you remember the wild card rule?
Yeah, that was like one superstar, like 3 superstars a show.
Yeah, it was always Roman Reigns.
It was literally always. I saw. I'm like, what show is he on? I always
It
forgot
was
about
like, oh, this dude's just always on every show. I'm surprised they haven't put him in NXT yet.
I know, right? They should. Speaking of that, I was going to ask earlier on if there's anybody who you would like to see go back down to NXT to the draft. Like, who would that be? Because I know technically they're not part of the draft, like drafting people, but they could eventually bring people back down. Who would you want to though? If the draft gave that option, the draft people back down to NXT.
People down?
Yeah. Like if they gave before the draft, if they gave the option to have 3 superstars from either show, just 3 superstars in general, to go back down to NXT, who would your 3 people be? It could be from either show.
Right now they're building. Like right now they look like they're doing something, but I don't know how much they have for them. But I would send Ziggler.
Okay.
And Bobby Roode.
Okay.
I would put them as a tag team too. Yeah, why not?
So that's 1. That counts as 1, right? Would you say that 1 or?
That counts as 1 or 2.
I would say 1 because they usually allow tag teams to count as 1. Then.
Nah, 2. But as 2 because they can also do their singles thing.
Okay.
Because because Ziggler could really help them out down there, help build up guys, especially the way that he be putting on matches.
Yeah.
He could really make it believable for guys, like to build them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, Ziggler, Bobby Roode, and I'm trying to think of one more person. And this is like to help NXT, right?
Or it could be anything. It could help the superstar. It could be to help the superstar too.
I'm trying to think. Because who I want to say.
Say it.
Who I think would. But it's like he's already older. He went straight to the main roster. He never got into NXT.
AJ Styles?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would see him. Because I think he said at one point that he wanted to go to NXT. So if that's the case, bring him back down right now. This is the perfect time to bring it down. So I was thinking the same thing.
I was thinking the matches he could put on down there.
Oh, dude, that would be amazing.
Him and Gargano, him and Ciampa,
Cole.
him and Cole, him and Riley, him and Strong, him and Balor.
Dude, I would pay for that match.
Anybody down there he could put on a show with.
Yeah.
It's just actually getting him down there. And then it's kind of like you don't want it to look like a step down for him.
Yeah. But it's like not, because if he said it himself,
I would put the belt on him.
Yeah. Have him win the NXT Championship. Him versus Balor. Easy.
Yeah.
I would actually go and watch it there myself if that's the case.
Yo, because I think AJ Styles in NXT would be incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
Especially with the roster they have right now.
Yeah.
I think that would be dope.
The three people I would say I was gonna say AJ Styles is one of them. The second person I would say that would bring down. Let's see.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking of a female superstar that needs to go back down, but they just brought down Ember Moon, so I wouldn't necessarily bring a woman back down again, because they're good for women.
And
division.
They're stacked, yeah.
Yeah, they don't need anybody else there for women. I would say Bo Dallas. That mainly because he needs to do something that could bring him up more. I thought he was that mystery person on the bike for a takeover. I was expecting him to show up and feud with somebody. He needs to, especially with the talent they have now.
Bo
that could build him up.
Yeah.
They would bring him up and they would help him. He would help NXT. Have him win the championship again. Stuff like that. Another person I would bring down,
or even the North American.
Exactly.
I even forgot about that belt too.
Me too, man. That's a weird belt. They be putting
on matches.
Yeah, that takeover. I like that match. That takeover match.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely. I low key. I think cruiserweights put on
better
one of the best matches of the night. But then that main event happened and was like,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
over.
don't give that match, then
Yeah.
that's stupid.
But then another superstar I would bring back down to NXT would have to be Dominic Mysterio. Like he needs to go back down. He needs to. I mean, I like I like what he's doing now, but it's like he needs to because I feel like he needs to put on better matches down there. I think help him grow more. Because I think he said, no, wrong person. But anyway, I feel like he would be fit well with their cruiserweight division. The fact that
Yeah,
he
definitely.
has all the hype he has now, bring him back down, put him in the cruiserweight division, having compete against Swerve Scott, having compete against, Santos Escobar. He would help there. He could be on 205 Live. That's kind of main roster. I guess you could say main roster. I don't care. But you could definitely put on shows down there. Be at takeovers, have one-on-one match without Ray.
How do you feel about that storyline that's going on right now?
Don't like it.
That
Don't like it.
No. I gave it a while. I gave it a couple weeks. I'm
hyped for that Murphy and Seth Rollins match. Yeah, I'm gonna say that match. But the storyline with it,
the way they're doing it, it's like
it's weird.
This ain't it. This ain't it.
It's weird.
It feels like it's forced. Like it's not like I can't get into it. I thought I was the only one.
Speaking of cruiserweights, though, would you bring up a cruiserweight? Because I think like last year they brought up a whole bunch of cruiserweights for the draft. They brought up Carrillo, Murphy, Tozawa, I think Cedric Alexander, Gulak. They brought up a whole bunch of cruiserweights from the cruiserweight division.
Hold on, before we get into that, I already heard you say Carrillo. Can I just say, I fucking hate that guy.
Why?
I just don't like him. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know what it is with him. Every time he pops up on the screen, he just pisses me off. Like, what? I don't know what it is.
I love that guy. Come on.
My son Humberto. He just pisses me off. I don't understand. I don't know. I could never get into him. Like, yeah, he's cool in the ring and stuff, but like, I can't buy into him. You know what I mean? You don't have that one superstar that you just like, I can't buy into this guy. Like, everybody loves him, but I just don't like this guy.
I have a few, but I like this guy though. I really do. He has a lot of potential.
Oh, he got a bunch of potential, but like, I just don't like him. And like, I don't know, man. And now they putting him with Mysterio. Like, it's looking like they're leading up to that.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm not against that either.
If anything, if you're not going to put him Dominic or Humberto in the singles action, put him as a tag team. Put them together and they compete in a tag team. They would be awesome as a tag team, in my opinion, better than Andrade and Garza. They could have a lot of hype. I think they're the same age, Carrillo and Mysterio.
I think
together as a young tag team, awesome.
Yeah, I think they would be dope. Personally, I think Garza is better than Carrillo.
Yeah, that is true.
I think Garza is nice.
Speaking of Garza, I would send him over to SmackDown, have him compete there. Imagine the matches he could put on by himself, especially with those guys they have.
Yeah,
like that would be awesome. I would enjoy that better than as a tag team, because that would bring. Because now when they had him with Andrade, everyone focused on them together. If you have them separate, have Garza go to SmackDown, compete by himself, and put on the shows by himself, people will have their eyes on him, and kind of all the matches he's had on NXT, all the matches he's had on the main roster so far, amazing.
Yeah, definitely. He really shows that he can go in the ring.
Yeah, that's what I like.
I also like him and Andrade as a tag team.
Yeah,
but I know what you feel. Like, I know what you're saying, that like he can do a lot by himself. He can really show, because he shows potential.
Yeah, because when he was on NXT with the cruiserweight division, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I like that one. And then when he got called up and paired with Andrade, I was like kind of iffy about it. I was like, that shouldn't go that way.
I still don't like that they took Zelina away from them.
I
think she should have been the manager and just like still wrestle. Like, she could still wrestle as the manager and just keep them under that umbrella, so that she's more legit as a manager.
Now I feel like Zelina Vega is also going to be on a different brand than Andrade. Splitting them up, she's probably going to be on SmackDown or Raw, the opposite brand of Andrade.
Yeah.
And separating that up.
I still think Andrade, like if the way it's looking, I think Orton is going to win the title at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then you just wasted 6 months of a storyline.
Yeah.
For nothing, because they've been going at it since what, June?
Yeah, I think since.
Right.
Yeah, whenever SummerSlam, the month before SummerSlam was, I think July, maybe July.
Okay, July. So July, August, September, October.
4 months.
4 months. Okay, 4 months. And I think this is gonna lead to him winning the belt and keeping it. The way I'm looking at it
is whatever brand Randy Orton goes to, he's gonna win it and stay on that brand with the title.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna beat McIntyre. I think he's staying on Raw. I think he's gonna beat McIntyre.
McIntyre's on SmackDown, you think?
It might.
That would be cool. I would see McIntyre going to SmackDown. Yeah, that would also be a number one pick. Because when I was thinking about number one pick, it was between Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre.
Mine was the Fiend and McIntyre.
Yeah, so because McIntyre's up there, he should be the first round.
I had a list. It was like a top 5. I don't know where it is right now, but top 3 were the Fiend, McIntyre, and Andrade.
Ooh,
because Andrade is just that guy. I don't know how they never had the Andrade versus McIntyre for the belt feud. Even though Andrade would lose, but that would have been the matches they could have put on would be amazing. Fantastic. Yeah. Hell yeah. But I think Orton's going to win the belt down the line. I think he'll keep it till Mania. I think Edge is going to come back and win the Rumble. I think he'll beat Orton at Mania for the belt, and that'll be like his last title run.
Yeah.
Like he signed for a couple years, but I think this will be his last title run, like in the title picture. Yeah. And then after he loses it, he'll kind of do like the Triple H and Undertaker schedule, where he only shows up for the big 4 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And he'll only have matches there. But I think that's where we're like the way it's looking with Randy Orton and McIntyre. I think Orton's gonna win it, and if he wins it, I think he's keeping it, and Edge is coming back and winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
But I don't know how Andrade hasn't got a title shot against McIntyre because the matches they could put on would be incredible.
Because even if it's not for the WWE Championship, whatever brand Andrade goes to, they should have him in the title picture at all times. Go for the IC title if he's on the same brand as the IC title. Go for the United States Championship again.
Oh my God! If AJ would have won the IC title at that ladder match, if AJ would have won, right, and Andrade moves over to SmackDown, and Andrade would have been feuding with AJ Styles for the IC title, what are we doing? How isn't this happening? How haven't we had Andrade versus AJ for a belt yet? For any title?
I would still want to see Sami Zayn versus Andrade.
Oh,
Andrade
I would love to see Sami Zayn versus Andrade.
Or even with Hardy too.
Hardy, yes.
I really want to see that.
But imagine Andrade, AJ opening up a card for a pay-per-view.
That would be awesome.
For the title.
That would be awesome. I would enjoy that.
But yeah,
that would be that would be an awesome match right there.
Hell yeah. But even if they move Andrade or Garza to SmackDown, whoever moves has to be in that IC title picture.
Okay, yeah. He needs to be.
Whichever one of them move over has to be in that title picture.
And eventually,
I think they're done with the tag titles. I think they were gonna give it to them.
Yeah, and then that happened.
But then that whole thing happened, and then now they're probably like, you know what, just
singles competitors better off.
Exactly.
I would love to see Andrade versus Angel Garza for a championship. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Oh
man, yeah, that would be dope. That would be sick. And then you have the whole history behind it.
Exactly. There should be like a top 2 guy. There should be top 2 guys eventually in the company.
They should. They should.
If you were to have who do you think? It's kind of a random question. I don't know if you had to answer this one. Who would be? So you talked about the first pick.
Yeah.
Who would you pick last? Who would you pick last?
I got a list for you. Nia Jax would be my last pick.
She'll be a free agent in my opinion. She'll be a free agent.
Oh my god, she should move down to NXT, but not in a good way.
Yeah,
she should move back to go get training.
exactly.
Humberto is on that list. I would take last.
R-Truth.
R-Truth, yeah. But R-Truth is entertaining. I might pick him up just because he's entertaining. I might just be like, yeah, come on.
They Mysterio's son. What happened? They just revealed the rules for the draft just a few minutes ago.
God, what's the rules?
Let me read it. So, more than 60 male superstars, female superstars, and tag teams have been placed into the 2020 WWE Draft. So, that'll be 60 picks. I'm assuming that's what it's saying. The draft begins Friday night on Smackdown. It concludes on Monday Night Raw. More than 20 superstars are eligible to get drafted on Friday Night SmackDown, and 30 superstars are eligible to be drafted on Raw. Since Friday Night SmackDown is a 2-hour show, Monday Night Raw is a 3-hour show. For every 2 picks SmackDown has, Raw will get 3 picks. Tag teams count as 1 pick unless...
What? Wait, hold up.
So, for every 2 picks SmackDown has, Raw will get 3.
Because Raw is a 3-hour show.
So, for each round, I think SmackDown has 2 picks, Raw has 3. For every round, I think. So, SmackDown will have less picks than Raw, I'm assuming. It makes sense in a way. It makes sense because they need less superstar for their show.
I guess.
Tag teams will count as 1 pick unless Fox or USA Network wants to pick 1 superstar from each team. So tag teams can split up.
Time out. So the draft isn't like, yo, Vince is picking who's going where. Like, you know how usually they have a manager and they'll be like, oh, Raw is picking. Our people who are drafting people, they're using USA and Fox as like the top people who's drafted.
Mm-hmm. I think Fox and USA.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I think that's 100% correct. I think they are like, yo, you should get this guy. We want this guy on Raw.
Yeah.
And Fox is probably like, yo, you should bring this guy to SmackDown, this woman to SmackDown.
Yeah. Now we've seen it because it's been a year since SmackDown on Fox. They had a chance to watch Raw too. Now they know. So any undrafted superstars will immediately be declared as free agents and able to sign with the brand of their choice. So that also could mean that superstars can also choose NXT if they want to go to NXT if they're undrafted. Not necessarily meaning that any of the top guys will be undrafted, but if they are undrafted, they can go back to NXT and go there.
Right when you said that, that's exactly what I thought, NXT. Do you know how crazy it would be if you had a big name, and maybe that's how you get AJ to NXT?
Yeah, he goes undrafted.
Maybe AJ goes the forgotten one.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of a storyline and AJ Styles is waiting. He's like, when am I getting drafted? He doesn't get drafted. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to NXT.
Or even that, he shows up to Raw, cuts a promo about how, hey, I went undrafted. Nobody really notices when the draft is going on because so many superstars getting thrown at you.
Yeah. You
even forget yourself because there's been times that you forget, oh, where did this person end up? That was like, I forgot who got drafted like in the late rounds. It was like an NXT person. I was like, oh, shoot, they were actually in the draft.
Yeah.
But like, he could become the forgotten one and he could be like, yo, like, Raw didn't draft me, SmackDown didn't draft me. Now I don't know. Now they're both offering me contracts, and I don't know where to go. And he shows up on Raw and SmackDown for like 2 episodes each.
Then Triple H comes through and be like, "Yo, sign with us, man."
And then you just see Raw end like that. Like AJ, like let's say he loses the main event on Raw. He's walking. Let's say he just loses a match.
Yeah.
Main event ends on Raw. You know how sometimes, like how I think last week they cut to Randy Orton attacking the legends.
Yeah.
You can have that happen, like AJ leaving Raw and somebody stops him. You don't see who it is. And then NXT starts out.
All we see is the contract handed to him. Nobody there see the contract. He
but like you don't even see what the contract is.
Yeah.
NXT starts up like regular, like they show the entrance. Oh, dope! Welcome to NXT. AJ's music hits. And he's like, yo.
He brings a contract with him and be like, oh, someone offered me a contract
to
come here.
And then he signs it in the ring, leaves it in the middle of the ring.
That could be the ending. That could be the ending.
That could be the ending. But it could also be the beginning. And then as he's walking out, Triple H is at this thing and he just shakes his hand. And now you're like, shoot, it was Triple H that gave him the contract. So many ways you could do this.
Yeah.
Getting AJ to NXT. Just do it already.
That can hype him up going to NXT. That can hype up NXT.
Exactly.
Instead of making it look like you said before, doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It'd be like, oh shoot, NXT, that's dope. It's awesome. People will hype it up.
Because right now, what's going on in NXT? Next big thing, Halloween Havoc. You have it happen on an episode that is hyped up.
Exactly.
Let's say they decide to have a title match that night.
And then someone comes out
and
in a costume. And then you don't know who it is. Like, what is going to attack?
There's so many things.
Dude, that's dope. We should be writers. Why aren't we writers?
Yeah, we should. You could even have him. You could even make it as simple as possible and have, let's say, I don't know how long Finn is going to be out with his jaw, but let's say he defends the belt, or let's say somebody wins the number one. Let's say they have a number one contender match.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody wins it. They're celebrating the ring. All of a sudden, AJ's music hits. Or not even, he just shows up on the ramp.
Yeah.
With the contract in hand, signs it, and then Triple H, you see him in the back, like just walk behind him, like in the distance. And it's like, oh shoot, AJ is in NXT. Like, there's so many ways you can do this.
Definitely.
So many ways, and there's so many. Like, it doesn't even only have to be AJ. There's so many superstars you can do this with.
Exactly.
You could do this with Andrade, and the reason for it is, Triple H is bringing me back because he showed me that there's nothing really for me in the main roster.
And he believes in me still.
And he thinks I could still make a difference. And then bring the whole listing. Vince doesn't believe in me, but Triple H has my back. And he knows I can make a difference. And that's why I signed with NXT.
Exactly.
So many people. So many ways. So many ways. Bo Dallas doesn't get drafted. He shows up on NXT.
Exactly.
Easy. Even that you could do. Triple H come out. I just signed, or William Regal. I just signed the hottest free agent.
And you wouldn't expect it because Bo Dallas is not a big guy.
Yeah.
Then he becomes a big name. Oh my God. Oh, dude, I'm so excited for this draft. Now he just got me so hyped.
And he returns as a heel. Returns as a heel. Let's say Adam Cole wins. Let's say somebody like Adam Cole or a Tommaso wins the number one contender. Let's say they do a number one contender match, like I was saying. Let's say they win. They come out on the stage and they're like, I just signed the biggest free agent. That did not, he went undrafted. He hasn't been on TV for a while now. And in the middle of Triple H giving this whole talk, Bo Dallas just attacks Tommaso or whoever wins the number one contender from behind.
Yeah.
And destroys them. And then just walks up the ramp, signs a contract, hands it to Triple H, and fade to black. And fade to black.
Dude, that is awesome.
NXT is now must-watch television.
And you gotta believe that.
Exactly.
You gotta believe that.
Dude, come on, man. There's so many things you could do.
Exactly. So I guess you could say that's the wrap. You can wrap this episode up.
Yeah.
Do you have a question you want to ask for next week? It could be about anything.
My question was the question you asked before. NXT, who would you bring down? But let me think.
Want to change it up a little bit?
What's up?
Want to change up the question, or is that the question you want to ask?
No. Because we kind of answered it. Who would we bring down? Who would we bring down? Question. Sure thing. Oh my God! I used to be so good with these and just coming up with them on the spot.
Yeah. Let's talk. You want to ask a question? One? You want to ask a question from a different company? We can talk about a different company next week, or something like that. If you were to have an undrafted free agent go to a different brand, different company, not a brand, a different company, have them be like their final, like not being drafted was for a specific reason for leaving the company, you know?
What do you mean?
Like if there was someone that didn't get drafted, it's like, oh, I didn't get drafted because I'm leaving the company and going somewhere else.
You know how crazy that would be? That would be so lit.
It does not necessarily be like a storyline for WWE. You just be like, oh,
No, just like yo, I'm out.
Yeah. And then who would that superstar be leaving the company?
Let's say this. Who right now on the WWE roster do you think can go to any promotion and still be a star? Because there's certain people that can't. Like, a Roman Reigns, I think, is only a star
because of WWE.
Yeah. And they know how to write for him.
Yeah.
Because he's a WWE character.
Yeah.
Like, he was made, like, he is like a Hulk Hogan. He was made in WWE.
Like a John Cena. He's only good in WWE.
Exactly. Like, they know how to write for him. Nobody else knows how to write for that character.
Yeah.
So who's you could even give me like a top 3 because there's a couple people that could go to any company and still be dominant and might even be a bigger star.
In the independent scene?
Either in the independent scene, TNA, AEW, New Japan, just anywhere else. Okay. And they could still keep their star power, but also maybe like a Johnny Gargano who doesn't have the size and might not be able to be a champion in WWE.
But then goes somewhere else, gets bigger, comes back.
Exactly. He could have an opportunity and still keep that star status because he's still a star in WWE.
Yeah.
He just, if he moves to the main roster, my opinion, they won't give him the belt because of his size.
Yeah.
Is he someone that can go to any company with his size and win a belt and still be a star? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, top 3 people who could move to another promotion and still keep their star power and might even be possible to be a bigger star than they are right now.
Okay.
That's a good question. I like that one.
All right, so that's been episode number 5, Draft Talk of the Ring Fanatics Podcast. I am Nick.
5 times.
Of course, Joel, and we'll see you guys next time.
Catch you.